Football is back. International break is over. But if you're an Arsenal fan, yeah, you're dealing with another loss today. 1-0 to Manchester City. And, usually after losses like these where Arsenal thoroughly outplays their opposition and has multiple chances to either tie or go ahead in this match, I'm rather feeling optimistic about this whole ordeal. And hear me out. So before the match even starts, you have David Luiz taking over Rob Holding's place, who had a bit of a pre-match knock, some sort of injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But I feel like that dynamic already changed that right side of the defense. I mean, if you take a look at that, Raheem Sterling goal in the 23rd minute by Manchester City, you could clearly see Hector Bellerin just having a real mediocre game today all around, but he was just getting owned on and off the ball. And having Sergio Aguero just work the space right in front of David Luiz was kind of inevitable, it felt like. Because David Luiz felt like he was on skates, sliding around everywhere. And Bernardino, after the initial save, had no shot at getting the putback pretty much by Raheem Sterling. And to me, that says more about David Luiz and Hector Bellerin and quite possibly the midfield's ineptitude rather than the entirety of just the defense. And saying something like, Bernardino isn't good enough. Now, Bernardino has actually been our top 3 player for the last 2-3 seasons he's been here. So can't really put him on the fucking, hot chair on this one. You can't. I would put David Luiz on that shit. Flat out. You don't contribute. And anytime you're put in a pressure situation, you kind of blow up. It's unfortunate. But yeah, I know. He won the FA Cup with us just a couple months back. But, dude, we've seen this pretty regularly. And it's unfortunate that David Luiz is a 50-50 weapon, meaning some matches he's great. I mean, he is a moving center back. I mean, he can kind of slot in right as that holding midfielder that can just kind of dictate the play around from the back and move the ball there, forward and get aggressive with the attacks. But certain games, he is just a liability, straight up. Remember that the whole fucking trend with David Luiz? Every time he was in a Premier League match, he would just get an automatic red card and a penalty. That was a thing. But, yeah, because of that relative inconsistency, I know he's not going to be a world beater. But today was one of those ugly games for David Luiz. And to really limit and even buffer the mistakes of just that one goal is why I say this was actually pretty impressive, because all in all, when you watch this full 90 minutes, you see that Arsenal outplayed Manchester City. They were moving the ball better than Manchester City. Yes, clinical chances and the one clinical shot and, the opportunity Manchester City took, and they won it. But the reality is, if you're an Arsenal fan watching this match, you're thinking, wow, granted, Manchester City doesn't have Kevin De Bruyne, but for this squad to go up against Manchester City away and perform pretty adequately, except just, not scoring anything, I'll take that. I'll take that moral victory. I mean, of course, it's 0 points. It's a fucking loss. Yeah, no shit. Obviously, I look at a guy like Hector Bellerin and David Luiz and think, you guys weren't all that great. Pepe had a bit of a knock there at late match, but, you need guys like Pepe, Aubameyang, and Willian, who were the starting 3 up front. They need to finish their chances. I mean, Bukayo Saka had a couple of great shots there. And, in my mind, if not Gabriel, Bukayo Saka is my man of the match. Now, Kieran Tierney just slotting in there in the left back position, in the back 4, did pretty well enough. But, man, Phil Foden really took Bellerin's lunch money today. not fun to watch if you're a Hector Bellerin fan. Of course, that's why I have to put his kid up there. But again, overall, Arsenal moved the ball well. They knew how to position themselves. They were intercepting balls at critical junctures on the pitch. I mean, all throughout the midfield, you had guys like Ceballos and Xhaka and hell, even Hector Bellerin kind of moving inward to that spot, doing work. And I would think, with the upcoming Europa League fixture, Arteta's going to start tinkering with his, full set lineup moving forward, in the Premier League. And I'm really thinking if Hector Bellerin just kind of slips up more and more, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is going to have a very nice spot over there on that right back position. And to me, this is what I love about Mikel Arteta. It's not about who's better, who has the bigger name. It's about the meritocracy. It's about how hard are you going to work? How much are you going to show me on the practice field and with the little things like showing up, doing the work, not bitching and moaning. And this is why a kid like Bukayo Saka gets a starting role. This is why someone like Dani Ceballos, who has been kind of a, non-issue during the Emery era, right? Get a guy like him to just go off. And I think for me, despite the loss, I really observe Mikel Arteta on the sideline and just kind of his general philosophy of what he's doing with Arsenal right now. And I'm all in. I love what he's doing. And for Arsenal, again, to just come out with this as the 1-0 loss and really just button themselves down defensively, towards the tail end, really, and all throughout after that goal was pretty impressive. And I'm hoping that moving forward, shit gets going. And David Luiz, please find some form of consistency for the love of God. And Hector, oh God, I don't know what to say about you at this point. I love you, man, but I'm pretty bad, relatively speaking, to what we know you could potentially do as being one of the top right backs in the league. But yeah, 0 points on the day. It sucks, but hey, you got to keep moving. And again, Europa League on Thursday. And I do apologize to the opposition, but I do not know the other club's name. But that's the Europa League. That's what happens. But I'm going to be looking up into that shit. And hopefully until then, Arsenal's healthy and they keep this fucking loss as a lesson and learn from it and keep it going. All right, so come on, you Gunners, boys and girls. That'll do it for me. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on all the links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily contents. Now, fuck off.